So, Microsoft, or more specifically Xbox, just acquired the entirety of Bethesda and Bethesda Game Studios, including franchises like Doom, Wolfenstein, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, etc. So this deal cost them reportedly about $7.5 billion, which of course is just a drop in the bucket for Microsoft. But let's take a look at the good and the bad that might potentially happen with this deal. So Microsoft hasn't said anywhere that these are going to be Xbox exclusive games, but I have a feeling that these are going to be Xbox One and PC exclusive games coming out from this point onward. With the exception, of course, with games that were already in development or are almost finished and already have a working version on PS4 or PS5. So from a business standpoint, purely from a business standpoint, for Microsoft, this is a great business move. I know $7.5 billion is a lot of money. It seems like to, your average consumer, it feels like you could buy a whole country with that amount of money. But considering the properties they purchased through this deal, they're getting so many beloved game franchises. I mean, just look at the Minecraft deal. They only got one game for that, and that was about half of what this price was. Either way, it's a smart move for Xbox, but that's really all going to be dependent on whether or not they handle these properties well. Judging by Microsoft's history of acquiring studios and running them into the ground, this is a little bit worrying, this deal, I'm not gonna lie. You've got games like Fallout, of course, which just completely have kind of just lost all reputation in the gaming community since the launch of Fallout 76. Fans of Fallout were kind of speculating that Fallout is basically dead now and is probably not going to see a mainline entry for like another 30 years or so. Well, that was under Bethesda's reign. But now, if you were a Fallout fan, this deal might actually be a good thing. Because I don't see really why Microsoft, now owning Fallout, why would they not make another entry in the series? It just makes sense that they would want to get the most out of the property that they just bought. And I could see Microsoft finally force Bethesda Game Studios to stop using the Creation Engine. This old raggedy ass engine that people have been begging them to stop using for years. And games like Skyrim and Fallout might finally get a new engine. So do I have faith that Microsoft can make a better Fallout game than Bethesda Game Studios itself? Yes, definitely, I do. When it comes to other franchises that are beloved, like Doom, for example, it definitely does get me a little bit worried for the future of one of my favorite gaming franchises. I'm just afraid that Microsoft is going to be putting their hands in places where they shouldn't be, telling their developers what they can and can't do, and stunting the creative process the developers behind Doom seem to have nailed down at this point. Let's hope that Xbox is slowly learning. Slowly. Look at the reaction to the Halo Infinite gameplay. It at least looks like they're listening to fans to some degree right now, after having delayed the game. This is kind of unrelated, but I'm curious what's going to happen to the Outer Worlds and the recently revealed Avowed game from Microsoft that has been in development. Outer Worlds and Avowed were kind of supposed to be Obsidian Entertainment's take on the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. But now that Microsoft owns both of those properties, I wonder what's going to happen to Obsidian's take on Skyrim since it's so early in development. Why have two game franchises under one roof competing with each other? Both games will probably get released eventually, but I'm just curious to see what's going to happen in this specific scenario. Hey, I guess the more games, the merrier, right? Overall, this is a really smart move for Xbox to try and take some market share back from Sony, but is it actually going to work? Probably not, at first at least. But later down the line, as new games start getting released by Bethesda, like Elder Scrolls 6 for example, I think a lot of console players who maybe exclusively play on PlayStation might start to feel left out, if only a little. At this point, I'm not really rooting for any one company in the quote-unquote console war. I like parts of all three of the big players, but I can't lie, as of late, it really seems like there really isn't any reason to own an Xbox, especially since all of Microsoft's first-party games are coming to PC anyways. That's about all I have for this video. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day, and I hope to catch you around the internet.
I used to be an adventurer like you, and I took an arrow in the knee.